The flight attendant handed me a note that said, "The pilot isn't who he says he is. Stay quiet. In 2 minutes, meet me in the back." My military training kicked in immediately. I casually folded the napkin and put it in my pocket. 20 years in the Marines taught me to recognize when something was about to go sideways. The captain's voice came over the intercom. "Good morning, folks. This is Captain Hopkins. We're expecting smooth skies to Chicago." I counted down 2 minutes, then stood up like I was heading to the bathroom. As I walked down the aisle, I made eye contact with a guy in 14C. He had that look. Short hair, crew cut, and alert eyes. Military or law enforcement for sure. He saw something in my face and gave me the smallest nod. Further back in row 22, another man was already unbuckling his seatbelt. Older guy, but built solid with scarred knuckles. He stood up right after I passed and followed me. We all converged in the back alley where the gray-haired flight attendant was waiting. She looked relieved to see 3 of us. "Heather Clark," she said quietly. "I've been flying for 20 years. 6 of those with Captain Hopkins. Staff Sergeant Julius Hunter retired," I said. "Marshal Rio Manning," said the guy from 14C, showing his badge. "Tom Bradley, contractor," the older guy said. I knew contractor meant private military. Heather got straight to business. "That's not Captain Hopkins's voice. Hopkins is from Alabama and has a thick accent. That man sounds Midwest." "You're sure?" Marshal Miles asked. "I had dinner with Hopkins and his wife 2 weeks ago. That's not him. And the co-pilot isn't responding to our standard signals either." Tom pulled out his phone and showed us a photo he'd taken. "I snapped this when they opened the cockpit door. Neither of these guys matches Hopkins's airline photo." Marshal Miles studied it. "2 unknowns in control of a plane with 150 souls. We need to take that cockpit. They've locked it from inside," Heather said. "The emergency code isn't working. They've disabled it somehow." I looked at the drink cart. "What about the old-fashioned way? We ram it. The door's reinforced since 9/11, Tom said. "But if we hit the lock mechanism right, we might bust it." "They'll hear us coming," Marshal Miles pointed out. "They could nosedive." Heather pulled up the flight tracker on her phone. "We're already off course. We should be heading northwest to Chicago, but we're going south." "Where?" I asked. "Looks like St. Louis." Tom and I exchanged looks. Lambert Field in St. Louis was where military transports used to refuel. We both knew that airport inside and out. "There's another way," Tom said. "The maintenance hatch above the cockpit. It's small, but someone could fit through." "I'll go," I said. "I'm the smallest here." Marshal Miles nodded. "Tom and I will be ready to breach if things go bad. Heather, you need to keep the passengers calm." We moved fast. Tom boosted me up into the ceiling while Heather made an announcement about turbulence and asked everyone to stay seated. I crawled through the tight space above the seats. It was dark and cramped, but I'd been in worse spots in Afghanistan. I found the hatch above the cockpit. Through the small gaps, I could hear 2 male voices. 15 years, Danny. 15 years since Hopkins let him die. He'll know what it feels like when his plane goes down in the same field. They were planning to crash us. I texted Marshal Miles one word. "Now." I dropped through the hatch just as I heard the drink cart slam into the door. The fake pilot in the captain's seat spun around and I tackled him. He was younger than me, but strong. We fought for control while the plane started to dip. The cockpit door burst open, and Tom had the co-pilot in a chokehold within seconds. Marshal Miles grabbed the controls and pulled us level. "I don't know how to fly this thing," he shouted. The co-pilot Tom was holding started laughing. "None of us do. We're cargo pilots. We've been reading the manual since takeoff." My blood went cold. These psychos were learning to fly a passenger jet with us on it. Heather pushed past everyone and grabbed the radio. "Mayday, Mayday. United 447 requesting emergency pilot assistance." A calm voice came back. "United 447, this is St. Louis Tower. We have pilots standing by to talk you through." For the next 20 minutes, Heather followed instructions from the tower while we kept both fake pilots restrained. She'd flown enough to understand the basics. We landed hard in St. Louis, but everyone walked off alive. Afterwards, I immediately threw up.